Hello everyone, and welcome to the third devlog for Dodo Alone. My name is Jack, and today I'll be going over the animations of the Dodo. As many of you know, the Dodo sadly no longer exists. This left me with some unique challenges when coming to animate one, since I couldn't just go out in the wild and find a Dodo to reference. Challenges such as, what did the Dodo actually look like, and how did the bird move, and how do we accurately convey this in a game about running, jumping, and swinging? First is to design the Dodo. This theoretically should be easier than animating, however it came with its own set of difficulties. This is because it's hard to get an accurate picture of the Dodo. Many of the paintings of the deceased bird were just artistic impressions from written descriptions and not from first-hand experience. Furthermore, even some of the sketches from those who had seen the bird had a myriad of inaccuracies within them, often mistaking dodos for cassowaries. Even the stuffed dodos you see in museums may not be entirely accurate. The majority of them are recreations and not taxidermies. For example, many of these use feathers from geese and swan rather than actual dodos. So, what to do? Well, thankfully there are a few incomplete skeletal remains of the dodo, and the DNA from these bones has been analysed. Turns out the dodos are now suspected to have walked more upright and could have actually run quite quickly through the jungle of Mauritius. There has been in fact a wonderful segment in a documentary done by David Attenborough with more realistic and accurate animations of the dodo and how they may have actually looked and moved. So with all of this in mind, let's have a look at our design in Dodo Alone. Here we have some of the characteristics of the dodos that are most well known. A round egg-shaped body, small flightless wings, and of course the iconic bulky beak. The colours of the dodo are earthy, and while they may not be as homogeneous as in other depictions, having different colours for different moving parts of the body allows for the animations to be more clearly communicated to the player. The three tail feathers are bigger than other depictions as well. This was because having a more poofy plumage allows for the animations to have a better follow through. Now we have the design, let's move on giving some life to this extinct bird through animations. So, how did I animate a bird that doesn't exist anymore? Well, we can take a look at other animals similar to the dodo and study how they move and run. While the dodo is actually in the family of pigeons, looking at larger birds can help us understand possible movements of the bird better, such as geese, swans, and ostriches, the latter being the most useful for the running animation since the dodo's legs were more anatomically similar to those of an ostrich. For example, it didn't have webbed feet and instead had much larger claws. I also used cassowaries for an example on how the dodo might jump. Somewhat ironic since the birds initially got mixed up by the sailors. But damn, look at this video, this guy can seriously hop. Despite all these real life examples, some liberties had to be taken. For example, wall jumping and wall sliding. We want this to be part of a game since wall interactions like these are fundamental to 2D platforms, so I had to get pretty creative. While I doubt any dodo birds would have done this, let alone be flexible enough to pull this off in real life, the pose is dynamic and anatomically believable enough to work in my opinion. Implementing these animations into the game was a lot harder than I initially thought. I started off with a small list of 7 animations to create. However, this has now turned into 19 animations, mostly due to the transition animations needed to keep the sprite looking nice and smooth. See, if you take a look at the silhouette of the sprite, she is not very symmetrical. This differs from many other 2D pixel art games which have more rectangular silhouettes. These silhouettes in turn allows for their changes between animation states to be less jarring, thus needing less transition animations to smooth things over. Furthermore, the size of the dodo is a lot bigger, leading to the animations needing to be much more specific in its details. The biggest hurdle of the whole animation process, however, was when we tried to fit the collider and checks to the animation. There were multiple instances where the collider didn't line up and would cause issues such as hitting your head too easily on ceilings, wall jumping up the same wall repeatedly, and dying when it didn't look like you were touching the hazards. We got around this issue by animating the collider and checks within Unity itself using its animation tools. These are all lessons in character design for sure, as I would have saved much more time with a different character design that is more simplistic and more symmetrical. However, with this more detailed design, I think it will pay off in the long run since we will be able to have more expressive animations for characters in the game, giving life and personality through showing and not just telling. Alright, so that's it for the devlog. We have a brand new demo coming out with this video, but I'm going to hand over to Karsten, our game designer, to explain it.
Yep, so we have a brand new demo out. In it will be a new map for all to try and test out the movement and animation. It's about double the size of the last one. For this demo, we have taken the feedback given from the previous demo and used that to make some improvements. First were some visual improvements. We got a few suggestions to make the room lighter, particularly the background, and to improve the look of the spikes and hazards, making them look more dangerous and spiky. Next, I took into account the feedback regarding the falling spikes near the end of the previous demo, since those who wanted to speedrun the level had their times arbitrarily slowed down by its movement cycle. And finally, most importantly, we added in coyote time to both regular jumping and wall jumping. This feature is one that gives the player a small buffer after the dodo leaves either the ground or wall that allows you to jump. This is a common technique used in many platformers to improve the feeling of gameplay and make it smoother overall. On top of this, we were able to implement the wall animations finally so that the wall jumping, sliding and ascending should feel much better to play. We are also working on other features that were suggested in the feedback, such as an automated speedrunning leaderboard for the Discord server, and further graphical improvements such as lighting and shading. So if you want to give it a try, feel free to download it. If you could fill out the feedback form on this demo, that would be great. If you want to get in contact with us directly, feel free to join our Discord server and chat to us there. We've been having a lot of fun on our Discord server, seeing who can get the fastest time. And the fastest time in our previous demo was won by Deputy Febreze with his scorching time of 24.9 seconds. A few more little bits there. Wasn't that the one that last got like 50 seconds on?
It was 51.769 actually. Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Ouch.
Alright. You're ridiculous laugh.
Alright, thanks Karsten. If you want to stay up to date with the development of Dodo Alone, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. We make devlogs roughly every fortnight, and we also give the occasional tutorial. As mentioned before, if you want to ask any more questions to the dev team directly, you can do that through our Discord server or in the YouTube comments below. Alright, thank you so much for watching to the end, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!